Now you've seen all these before. We're going to go through a color coding. Most of the pinks are respiratory, the whites are digestive, but we're going to start at the common beginning. Remember, these are in the mouth. Can't show them on the outside, but pharynx, back of the mouth, known as the throat, is serving both the respiratory and the digestive systems. Now, when we're talking respiratory, as we will now, that epiglottis stays forward and does not cover the glottis, so I'm not going to cover that glottis. Through the glottis, that air goes to the voice box, the larynx, cartilage. From larynx into trachea, you can see the cartilage rings there. That runs all the way down to something I have not labeled, but that's because they're hidden, the bronchi, which turn into bronchioles, which turn into, well, do they turn into alveoli yet in the lungs? Well, we've asked that question and answered it before. By definition, that's a hollow cavity. In this case, it should be a hollow cavity full of air, and it is not. So alveoli don't truly exist yet until that first breath, which is good. That's one of those things they shouldn't have prenatally, nor should we. And one thing we absolutely need after being born, or we're in trouble. Back up to the mouth, because that pharynx, again, is the common beginning of the digestive tract. Now this time, the epiglottis does fold backwards and covers that glottis in order to let the food, mixed with saliva, of course, there's a nice salivary gland, there's another one over there, go into the esophagus. Again, not shown because it's behind, it's caudal or dorsal to the trachea, running all the way from the pharynx, all the way down here behind the heart, through that beautiful somatic muscle. That's right, you have a little bit of control over that somatic muscle, the diaphragm, into the stomach. From stomach into, you know what, the duodenum. One last reminder that duodenum, magical area that it is, accepts secretions from the stomach, known as chyme, food and the like. Secretions from the pancreas, enzymes and buffers, and of course, the gallbladder. Now I've cut away some of the liver here so you can see the gallbladder better. Remember, that's just a storage for bile that the liver made. From duodenum to the second part of the small intestine, the jejunum, which is most of this business here. To the third part of the small intestine, the ileum. Little to locate because it's buried very deeply. From ileum into the first part of the large intestine, the cecum, this weird little finger-shaped thing. The one thing we really don't have much of anymore because we don't eat a heck of a lot of cellulose like they do. From cecum into spiral colon, second part of the large intestine, onto the rectum, the rest of the colon. Second question that we should know the answer to, are there any bacteria? Are there any protists in there yet? And there better not be. Remember, if there's air, there's bacteria, this poor little thing is so sick it won't make it. Whereas if we don't have air in our alveoli and we don't have bacteria, we're in trouble. That is the end of our tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that now that you've learned just a smidgen more about the parts of life and the physiology of life, you appreciate life even more. Thanks for listening.